Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. If you're looking at the bearded one, that means it's Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 2 out in Hawaii, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning out in Indonesia, about 9 a.m. out in Australia. Welcome everybody to the show. If this is the first time looking at the bearded one, my name is Tom Springer and I am the host of Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. If you're a repeat offender, returner, welcome back to the show. Love having you guys here. If you're new, welcome. Hopefully you will enjoy the show. I do have on a guest with me today. It is not the one that I was going to have on before. Janessa had family issues, so she had to step aside. So I was lucky enough to have Miss Amber Joslin say that she would step in and come say hi and come visit all of us again. She was fantastic the first time. We're learning more and more that she's more like me or I'm more like her. So God help us both. That may not necessarily be a good thing. But anyways, let's go ahead and bring Amber on so we can just start yapping and we can say hi to everybody as we go. So, hi, Amber. Hello.
Hey, Chief, what's up?
We got everybody. So we got Tammy saying hi. We got Primal. We got, who else we got? We got Stuart out from Texas saying hello. Kathy saying hello. Jason, brother, no problem. I understand. Life gets in the way. Stupid life. Christy's coming in to say hello. Hello, Christy. But everybody, here is Amber again. I say again because she's been on here with us before. But she's such an awesome guest that I had to bring her back on, and she has been gracious enough to come visit us again as my substitute, but couldn't ask for a better one if I had to, because like I said, it's basically another version of me, as we discussed. That's kind of scary for everybody. But how have you been?
I'm doing great. I'm just trying to stay busy and trying to stay out of the doctor's office, try not to get injured.
So do you remember how we actually met?
It was through Marty, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was through Marty. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I was like, I think it was through Marty, but I wasn't 100%. So hi, Rosie. Hi, Janet. How y'all doing? Oh, wait. Hi, Sandy. So, Amber, I'm having a
hard time hearing something. It's like really glitchy.
Really? Because I see you as really glitchy, so I'm hoping someone can respond. If it's me or her, that would be great. But I have her frozen right now, or kind of glitching. So I don't know if it's me or you. We'll find out.
You better now. Okay, it's all good now. I can hear you. Just fine.
Oh, okay. Rosie said it's on your end. No, you're moving. But Rosie said it's on your end. So okay. So hi, Cheryl. How are you? Sorry. And yes, Stuart, I know her hair is on top of her head while mine comes off the bottom of my chin. I know. I'd be a little worried if hers was coming off the bottom of her chin like this, though. Then we'd have other discussions to talk about.
Yeah. I shaved earlier, so it should be good.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Good job. So no 5 o'clock shadow or nothing. So, so I am supposed to tell everybody that Nikki apologizes, but she will not be here tonight. It is her brother's birthday, so she's actually out celebrating with her brother while I am running the show. So now everyone knows where Nikki is, because I know that later on down the show, everyone's going to be like, I haven't heard from Nikki. Where's Nikki? How come Nikki's not here? No one really cares about me at all. They just want to know where Nikki is. And I understand that. I feel the same way, but that's cool. But so, see, Rosie's already like, oh, Nikki, miss you. Last time you were on my show, it was a little while ago. I don't remember when, but it was a little bit, probably like 6 or 7 months ago, I think. So
yeah, it was before summer, I think, or right around that.
Yeah. So with that said, what have you been doing lately?
I mean, what have you been just fighting the good fight.
What have you been investigating? Where have you been?
Um, everywhere, everywhere. Trying to do as much as I can. You know, I went to the house, you know, her property in Tennessee. That was really awesome. That was
Yeah.
probably like one of my favorite things I did this year because it was so cool just to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hanging out with, you know, I've so far this year, I saw a Wendigo near my house. I've seen
How'd that
vampires,
go?
some zombies. How the Wendigo? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't come back for me, and he had to have known I saw him because I'm driving home and it's dark, it's late. I had just got back from filming somewhere, and my road, if anybody is not familiar with West Virginia, you have to go slow because the roads are like a S all the time. And I'm going slow. I mean, probably like 25, and it comes out from the right hand side and goes across in front of my car, and my headlights were right on it, and then it jumped up in the woods. And I don't know, like I did not know what they looked like, but immediately I heard that's a Wendigo. So I go home and I look it up, and it's like it says stuff like if they see you, they're gonna come back and kill you, and I'm like, come on, let's not do this.
Right.
But so far it hasn't done anything. But it had to have known I saw it. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I mean,
I
I
haven't
would
seen
talk
one.
to him and hang out with him, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I haven't
He
seen
didn't
one.
seem
I
to.
haven't seen one yet, so hopefully I'm too dumb. I'd probably go after it. So
This
I'm
thing,
too
it
dumb to
was
know any
so
better.
fast. It was so fast, and it didn't even pay any attention. It did not turn its head and stare at me like I thought it probably could have done. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be cool if it was like, hey, but it didn't. But its body was like almost like strands of hair. I mean, it was
Oh yeah.
like brown, but like sort of see-through, sort of opaque. It was so weird, and it was made up of like these strands. It wasn't a solid being. It was just weird looking, but it was very tall and like hunched over and kind of running. It was weird looking.
Rosie's asking, what is a Wendigo?
Um, you know, I haven't really studied much on them, but all I know is that they, like when I Googled it or whatever, it said that like if people see them or run into them, that they can come back and kill you and eat you. They feast on people, I think. I'm not really sure. You may know more about it, Tom. I'm not sure. But it
I
was
actually don't. It's one of the cryptids. Unfortunately, I don't know too much. For me, I know some cryptids, but not all of them. And the Wendigo is one that I don't really know that much outside of the fact that it is always perceived or portrayed as being a negative entity. It's always seen as something you don't want to come across. It's I believe it may be tied to the Native American side of the house, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's every time I've heard it, read about it, heard somebody talk about it, it's always been tied to something negative. It's always something that is. Rosie's asking if it's a shapeshifter. Is it? Hold on, I got to think back to all my readings.
What'd she say? Is it a shapeshifter?
Is it a shapeshifter?
See, just I've never came across the skinwalker, and I know they're native, like kind of Native American as well, and I think they're more of a shapeshifter than what the Wendigos are.
I think a Wendigo is. Yeah, I think a Wendigo is more what people would think of more like a lichen, along those type of lines. Just the large dogs. I mean, type of shapes.
Right.
Yeah, that's really what they look like.
It looked like an emaciated werewolf, but it was like see-through. It was just weird. He was very skinny. Like
they're not big. Like they're not big muscular. They're not big muscular. If you look at them, they look like they're very emaciated. but they are unbelievably strong, surprisingly enough.
Oh,
And they're very fast.
yeah.
I was joking. I was joking when I said I tried to go catch one because there's no way my fat ass would go keep up with it. I'd be winded way too fast, so that's not going to happen.
See, I'm just glad he didn't stop and like want to like have dinner. I'd be like, I'll just go to Taco Bell. Give me 10 minutes.
So there you go. Thanks, Stuart. He said evil spirit from the Algonquin tribes in the Great Lakes area. So yeah, that's pretty much what I know of them too, is that they are an evil spirit. I don't ever believe they were human at any point. I don't think they were like skinwalkers.
Yeah.
That I think they were just born as a spirit or just created as a spirit. And I think they just came out of a belief. I mean, if enough people believe about it, it's going to come into, you're going to manifest it. And I think that's how they came about. Like the evil bedtime stories that, some people have, and all of a sudden shit starts happening. But yeah, so thanks for that, Stuart. Jason's trying to be funny tonight. Winded by the Wendigo. Yes, I would definitely be winded by the Wendigo if I had to chase after him. I wouldn't even try. The
way I saw it, I don't think I could outrun it in the Jeep. Like it was.
Oh yeah,
no
yeah. That's what I said. They're extremely fast and extremely strong. That's what I know of them. Luckily, I have not come across one before. I have come across some other interesting entities, but nothing in the way of that.
I'm constantly manifesting that stuff. I'm always like, I want to see something I haven't seen before.
I'm the same way. I'm like, all right. I'm the same way. I'm like, yeah, you keep telling me about these things, but how come I ain't seen one yet? And then, yeah. So I was at one location with a couple of buddies, and it wasn't on an investigation or anything else. And all of a sudden we just started hearing these like shrieks and howls. And I'm like, I know a lot of different animals, and none of that does not sound like any animal I've ever come across. I mean, I've been all over the world, and it didn't sound like anything I've ever heard before. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel like something I'm going to go look for. So, and they were all like that. And both of them are hunters, and they were like, nope, no animal we've ever heard around here. So I'm like, oh, great. Fantastic.
Well, at least they confirmed it for you. Usually, when I'm with a group of people, there's always somebody in the crowd that's like, you know what? That's an owl. I've heard it 100 times. Or that's a fox mating call. Like they'll come up with something. And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. So Stuart says, don't think it's a shapeshifter from all that I've heard. So yeah, I didn't believe it was. That's more along the skinwalker side of the house, not the Wendigo. But yeah. So I was talking to you beforehand that I went on a recent investigation with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. And for people who don't know Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, Michelle Roos has been on my show before, actually runs that. There's a few different chapters of it, but we went to Washington, Iowa. And it was pretty cool because we did a 3-location investigation. And one of the places we went to was an old theater that's actually still active. I think it's listed as the oldest active theater in the United States, like running in the United States. And it was really cool because we went there. It was originally a live theater where they did stuff on stage and everything else. Now it's actually a movie theater. And we went to the backstage area, and we wanted to experiment with some stuff. And we had one of the live wires, the long 37-foot live wires or trip wires. And we had a kid that I thought was in there, and his name was Charles. And we were trying to play, we were trying to get him to play with us. And so we were telling him, and I was with a guy named Tristan, who is actually Michelle's son. And he's like, well, let's play a game. He goes, let's race. And we have kicked the tripwire. We have done everything we can to set it off, but it doesn't get set off by us touching it. You got to actually an EMF has to actually get close to it. And each one of the individual EMF pods are they're set off on their own. It doesn't set the whole thing off. And so it just says, and he goes, all right, so let's try this. I want to race. He goes, come down to this end of the tripwire and let's race all the way down. It's 37 feet. And so he goes, ready, go. And he starts walking, and all of a sudden, every single light in the road takes off, like all the way down to the end by where I'm standing. So we know that
that's
Charles,
awesome.
yeah. So he ran to play with them, and then we went and stood by one of them. Like I was like standing by one of them at the end because we always saw the lights go one direction when they ran. And I'm like, well, maybe that's a glitch in the system that they only go one direction. So I'm standing at the other end where it's never started. And I go, hey, Charles, can you come down here and stand by me? And he came down, and mine right in front of me lit up. So it was pretty cool. We got to play around in a lot of good areas while we were out there. So that was a lot of fun. So
did you get that part filmed? That would be awesome.
I don't know if anyone was filming it at the time. I actually don't think we filmed a lot of that, which kind of frustrated me a little bit. But it was a large group. It wasn't just like a team investigation and we went along. They actually they sell tickets to the public who want to come and investigate. And with this being a 3-location investigation, we all together had like 50 people. So we split them up. And I think we had about 15 or 20 people with us. So we really didn't film a whole lot. We were just focusing more on them and seeing what they would do, with the activity. But it was a pretty good night. It was a long night. I did not drive home afterwards at all. We got a hotel room. Luckily, we planned ahead because I was not going to drive the distance back after doing all that because Michelle was asking me to do a lot mentally because we went into places. She's like, okay, Tom, what do you pick? I'm like, I didn't know I was going to be the one used for this. So, but it was fun. So, but I know you do a lot of your stuff on YouTube and you go out to different locations. So,
yeah.
So what?
My favorite places are outside places, like woods, graveyards. I like going to haunted buildings too, but usually they're pretty expensive. So
yeah, pretty much
some of them
are free. I said normally the ones out in the open are free, so yes.
Yeah, I mean there's a few places I would love to go to, but I mean it's just me and sometimes a few friends, and I mean I can't like come up with like 1,500 like a group of 8 or 10 people could split,
Yeah.
And a lot of these places are every bit of 1,500 anymore.
Well, and that's what was really nice. That's what was really nice about Michelle. She kind of spoiled us. This was the first investigation that I've ever done with her, and we've never met outside of Facebook. But she's been on my show a couple of times. So is her daughter, and she was like, "Oh, you're coming down for this?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Tell me where to send the money." She goes, "Nope. You're our guest. Just come down, hang out with us." So it was really nice. So that was looking forward to another one because she wants us to go to another one with her too. So that's the one we're going to do next. So that'll be fun. But yeah, because I watched a couple of yours when you're out and about. Jason is asking for your channel because he wants to be able to swap subscribers. So he wants to know where they can find you at.
Just type in Amber's Paraworld on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Sorry, I'm typing at the same time.
You're fine.
Because this way I can post it out into all the comments. So there it goes. So everyone who's looking for it can go to Amber's Paraworld. I listed it YouTube, TikTok, Insta, so they can see it whenever whoever watches it live or whoever goes back and watches it later, they'll be able to see where they can find you going out there. So, and he is asking you to go check out.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say on my TikTok, you may have to like scroll down some, but I think I posted some YouTube shorts. But I've got several full body apparitions on there, which are really cool. Yeah.
So he wants you to go check out their site, Pimp Paranormal. So
I'm glad I saw the paranormal after that. I was like, whoa. No.
Yeah, these guys are great.
I definitely.
Yeah, these guys are fantastic. I actually had them on my show, but these guys are really good. I like looking at their stuff whenever they go. So everyone out there, not just you, Amber, go out there and check out Pimp Paranormal. So Jason, I'm plugging you, buddy, because you deserve it for what you guys do. But yeah, so and they're a great couple of guys too, great group that goes out there and does all this stuff. So I would tell you to go follow them because I'm pretty sure that you'll really enjoy some of the stuff they do too. So not just you, Amber, but that kind of goes for everybody. If they're not already out there. But yeah, I've watched a couple of your. In fact, I was actually it's an older one, but I watched one of yours and I was actually commenting on it about all the stuff we were picking up on, and that was kind of wild when you were out there. But yeah, that's when your buddy almost got pulled in. Into the water.
I told him to. I'm like, it's trying to kill you. She's gonna get you. It was like 5 minutes later, in the water.
Yep. That was pretty funny. So yeah,
it was.
Yeah, because I can see everything that was moving around there.
Right.
You know, and I was able to watch one or two. I can watch the one water elemental and the one earth elemental that was kind of roaming and watching you guys like, what are you guys doing out here? And then there were other spirits that were out there too. And I think one of them tried coming out of the water to pull him in because that's when we started talking about we think something drowned in the water. And we think that it was trying to pull him in. So that was pretty wild. So yeah.
That's like one example of like how stuff gets when I'm around because I'll be like connecting with things and then then stuff happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny to watch. I say it's pretty funny to watch some of your stuff because your stuff just like other people are like, I've been to that spot, I've never had anything happen. And then all of a sudden like shit goes sideways because you're out there. And they're like, that's never happened to me. Why not?
Right. It's definitely it can get wild sometimes. I mean, Tammy is in the chat. Yeah, she's been to a few places with me, and she'll be like, I heard that out loud, like voices and stuff. Yeah, stuff gets wild sometimes.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to start asking you normal, boring investigator questions. So get ready for it.
Okay.
Of the locations you've been to, are there any that you're just like, nope, not going back to that place. Nope, freaked me out too much, or just wasn't right. Nope.
Okay. Yes, and that was Lake Shawnee, but now that it's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I would go back because I think I've grown enough to go back. Like spiritually, mentally, I've grown, so I could handle it better. But me and my mom and that stuff like messed me up. I walked through like the portal thing and it took me down to my knees and about made me throw up in the middle of the day. And I'm like, it was crazy.
You're like, this ain't right.
But I would definitely go back there now. But I mean, I had stuff follow me home. Like it was a mess. Yeah.
Tammy is saying it gets creepy. Oh.
Yes.
So is Tammy's gone with you on investigations then?
Yeah, she's gone to the graveyard a few times with me.
So is she like a regular for you to tag along and say, hey, come with me?
Yes, I can call her and be like, you want to go do something spooky? And she's like, let me get dressed.
Tammy, have you ever been used as a guinea pig? Has Amber ever used you as a as a guinea pig for stuff?
It meant on Halloween. No. I took her to this creepy place. And I'm like, I'm going to put Tammy alone in the basement. And there's this thing that was scratching the walls last time I was there. But she did really good.
Yeah. Did you at least give her a light or just leave her down there in the dark?
She had her phone light. I did not give her a light. I gave her a K2 meter, but it was still a little daylight outside. Like it was getting dark.
Oh, okay. She says, I carry the mace. I'm a total guinea pig. Tammy, I hate to tell you, but ghosts aren't affected by mace. So I bet that's something.
Well, it did come in handy one time, and that was not too. I mean, it was like, was it beginning of October? We went to go film at the cemetery, and I got there first, and I'm waiting on her, and I keep hearing these sirens. And she pulls up, and next thing you know, this sketchy van pulls up, drops this dude off. You could tell they didn't know each other. He gets out of the car, starts walking, and he's like, I'm going home. I'm going through the woods. We're like, there's no houses back there. He's walking around, then he starts banging on trees and asking us for a ride, and Tammy's like, nope. We got Mace, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She said it makes me
the
feel
human
better.
factor's a lot than the ghost factor.
Oh yeah. Rosie's asking, do you go to any cemeteries or do you have any specific places that you go to?
Wait a minute. Can you repeat that? It was kind of cutting out.
It says, do you go to any cemeteries or any specific places?
I'll go. I just go wherever. Sometimes I'll play that Randonautica and go to random spots on the side of the road or in the woods. I like going through woods. You know, some people stay out of the Appalachia woods at night. I'll go in them. Outdoor places are my favorite. In the woods, in the cemeteries, that kind of stuff. I mean, I love haunted buildings, and I like doing private ones, like for people's homes. I've done some of that, and for you know, like stores and stuff that have hauntings. I like doing that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So and I still got your stuff up over here because so for people who don't, oh, she's gone. She'll be back. I'm just gonna keep talking. But for people who don't read the write-ups I put out there, so this will tell you that she is a physical medium, ordained minister who channels not only the dead but also extraterrestrials, cryptids, and everything in between. And she's also written a couple of books. So she kind of does a bit of everything. So and she's been doing it for a while, except apparently she can't stay online because she keeps breaking stuff. Yes, Tammy, I agree with you. Or Stuart, I agree that this would be good for Tammy. Tammy, get a squirt gun with holy water in it. That would be great. Hey, look, she's back. So,
Okay, can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I switched to my hotspot because I'm using that other phone. But I'm not even kidding you. I went to go look at it, and something had turned the Wi-Fi, like the hotspot, all the way off. Like it was off. I'm not touching it.
It didn't want you talking about it. That's why. So that's what it was. Hey, look, we have a William Nighthawk sighting. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hello.
So Nighthawk is fantastic. If you don't follow Nighthawk, you need to follow Nighthawk.
I agree with what he just said, though. That's awesome.
Which one? Oh,
I do my best work in the dark outdoors. I hear you. Same.
So while you were gone, Stuart was helping Tammy with information, and he said, "Get a squirt gun with holy water." So
I have holy water. Yes, I do have some.
So there you go. See, Tammy, she's been holding out on you too. That makes it even worse.
Actually, I gave her some for something that she needed it for. So yeah, I've given her some. But yeah, it was so funny because I've only ever had to go get holy water once, and it was recent, you know, this year. Yeah. I've never needed it or felt that I needed it, but you know, I go into that church and I don't know these people, and this sweet little lady was like, "Are you going to bless your garden?" I'm like, "Yeah, something like that."
You're gonna do a house blessing. So yep.
I get home and I'm like spraying it on this thing that has something negative, like spraying it in his mouth.
So Jason said that he subscribed to you now.
Oh, thank you.
Rosie says Tammy needs shungite. I would agree. Shungite's one of my favorites. I know a lot of people lean towards black tourmaline or a lot of stuff, but shungite for some reason really resonates with me. And that's the one that I carry with me. Which is funny because I never carry anything for myself. I always carry stuff for other people. So I always give it an intent for protection. But I always wear it only long enough to give it to somebody else. So it's the craziest thing how I know. And I never wear it. But for some reason, when I put it on, I know someone's going to need it. And they always do. If I don't wear it, no one needs it. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Stuart is asking if something follows you home, how do you get rid of it?
If I can't get rid of it just from my loud mouth and telling it to, then it depends on what it is. Typically, if it's just like a human spirit that's really confused, I'll just help them to understand what's happened to them. I'll let them tell their story and then help them get to where they need to go. Sometimes they just get confused. Even as a medium, I still don't understand why that happens all the time, you know, because sometimes they go, sometimes they don't. If it's something negative or something that just wants to be mean, I'll just at least make it go off the property. And then I've got my bodyguard Paul. He is the dead guy that I brought home with me one time from the beach, and he'll take him out too. He's my bodyguard. He'll walk him out to the street, and if they don't want to cross over, I give him a chance. So
Yeah. Well, that's nice of you.
I know.
Kathy, so while you were also gone, I also read a little bit of your bio, because I know that not everyone reads the bio that I post. They just look at the pretty pictures of the guest and then the bearded one and go, okay, there's a date coming on. Sure, someone's coming on. So I did read your bio to them. And Kathy wants to know, ordained minister, is there a specific religion?
No. Just I don't even know why. I just felt like I needed to. Okay. It's like, and that was a couple, like January, February, something like that. But I just really had this push from my guides to do it. And I don't know why, but I'm sure it's going to come into play at some point, or they wouldn't have wanted me to.
Yeah.
But it's just like the one I went through is for any religion. It's not any religion specific type thing. I've already done a wedding, so that was fun.
Jason's asking, where are you located at?
I'm in West Virginia.
West Virginia, and he said because they are in the southern central Pennsylvania area.
Okay.
So
I'm kind of like smack dab in the middle of West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Janet's saying that it's so cool that you are an ordained minister.
Yeah. I've used that before to get negative entities out. I'm like, I'm an ordained minister, right? You know what I mean? Like kind of, and they're like, yeah, so.
Right. They're like,
I would eventually like to take some demonology courses and be, like a actual like licensed demonologist, whatever they call it. But I'm just not sure if I really want to do that, because I've already dealt with some of them and I kind of know for the most part how to deal with them. So I really don't. I don't know. I probably won't do it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Nighthawk said, you're in, by God, West Virginia.
Well, it's West by God, Virginia. Yeah. I try so hard when I'm filming not to let my accent come out, but sometimes it does.
You're what?
My accent.
You're what?
But sometimes it does, especially like when I get scared, like if something spooks me, like when I'm filming, especially at the cemetery. Yeah. And Tammy knows this, and I've said it a million times. There's something about filming there that makes me drop F-bombs, and I try not to, but man, it just happens. So I beat myself out for the most part, but sometimes I forget.
Yeah, I know. I was debating on whether we needed to throw this up tonight, right there, the parental advisory.
Right.
I'll probably leave it up there just because I've already thrown a couple of bombs here. Not terrible, but Jason says West Virginia State Prison is so much fun. Have a video of they have a video of their investigations there. So
yeah. Okay, I have some from there too from this year. I'll watch yours if you watch mine.
Deal. And then they can compare notes, and then I'll bring you both on my show. So. Nighthawk says demonic work is very difficult and you need to always be on your guard. Yeah. Yeah.
I've dealt with a few of them. I think like 5 in my life. They're a lot different. They're always different.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but some of the demons I've met humans that are nastier. I'm just saying, like, they're not as, I mean, I'm sure there are some that, now that I said that, I don't want to finish that sentence because I'll be like, I'll show you. But yeah, I mean,
just like, hold on.
Always, like, the way that I always know they're demonic, like I'll get a hunch that they are, but I see them shapeshift. Like I'll see them looking like a human.
Yeah. And
then they'll turn into something else. Like one time this thing had like red hair, kind of like Carrot Top, like this little skinny boy. And next thing you know, he just like changes right in front of me into this like all black with this hat on. And I'm like, I knew it. You're about to go. And then one time I saw one, like a man in a black suit change into this giant black snake. Like I'm talking like, 8 feet high and like 18 feet long, like this giant thing in the road. Like, I've seen some weird stuff. I mean, I know I sound crazy. If you're not into paranormal,
Yeah.
I sound like a lunatic.
Yeah, someone's gonna look at the title of my show and be like, "Oh, I wonder what this is about," and then see this one and be like, "Hmm."
Does he know that lady's off her rocker? I'm off the grid and off my rocker. That's the truth, though.
William also says that Haunted Amusement Park is a good location in West Virginia.
Yes, that's the one we were talking about. Yeah.
Rosie says demons are evil and real life people are horrible and fake. So yeah, at least you know what you're getting with a demon.
Right.
Yeah. We came across a couple of things that wanted to portray themselves at demons, but after talking enough, and they were like, nope, not a demon. So we were able to identify, nope, you're not a demon. I gotta say hi to Zhang. Hi Zhang, how are you? She's our wonderful point of contact out in Indonesia, who is filming right now. So for those of you who don't know right now, Amber is not crazy. She's not like looking out the window talking to strange things. She has her daughter with her. Sitting out because this is where they can get reception at. So this is why she's sitting out in a parking lot and you see cars going by. It's not because of anything weird. It's just simply because she has her daughter with her, so she's not like looking to the side and just starts talking to herself.
It's because of West by God, Virginia. We
Right?
ain't got no Wi-Fi here.
Exactly. Zhang, I saw you said hello to Nicole. I'm sorry to say, but Nicole is not here tonight, but she says hi to everybody. Like I said, she is celebrating her brother's 50th birthday with him tonight, so she is unable to be here. But she said to say hi to everybody, so no one goes, "Where's Nicole?" Like I knew it was going to happen. So, but yeah, Zhang's the one person, I think she's my only person who actually watches us from Indonesia. So that's why when you hear me do the time zones in the beginning, it's because I know that I have people in all those different time zones that watch our show. So I keep forgetting to bring in the UK because now I have a couple people who watch in the UK too, but I know they watch the recordings. So that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, so we have a location here, not too far from Nikki and I. It's about a half an hour away. And there is a little girl at the location. Now, the problem is we actually have voice recording of the little girl. And she sounds just like a sweet little girl. And a lot of people have talked about her being, in fact, Nikki's actually has a recording of her. And the story goes that it's just a sweet little girl that lived there when it was a poorhouse and everything else. And they have her room there and it's a kid's room and people leave notes to her and everything else. But if you go back and look in all the records, there's never been a record of this girl, but there's records of everybody else who's been there. So is it really a little girl, or is it something that has been manifested into a little girl, or is it something that is portraying itself as a little girl and it just kind of looped into that location and is portraying itself as a girl even though it's something else? So that's something that we're playing with, trying to figure out. But it's something that's been going on for a while now. And like I said, Nikki actually has a recording of the little girl saying that it's very tired. So it's interesting to figure that out. But personally, I do not believe I have come across anything that is an actual demon. I've come across things that have portrayed themselves in demons. I have come across the Black Witch. That was all kinds of fun. Woo. And a couple other pretty ugly things, but never a demon, as far as I know. So we'll see how that goes. But Kathy is saying she watches all your YouTube videos. She enjoys them immensely. They are so scary.
Thank you, Kathy. So this place where you said the little girl is it a house or like a building?
Where I'm at, where we're talking?
Yes. Where you were talking about.
It is. So it's been numerous things.
But it's an actual structure.
It's an actual structure, yes. It used to be an asylum. It used to be a hospital. It used to be a poorhouse. I believe it used to be a place for the elderly. Now it's empty. A gentleman who owns it. Um, some people know who he is because he's pretty well known. But he is strictly used now for investigation purposes. There are numerous spirits in the location. One of them is a fantastic old lady, or I don't want to say old. She portrays herself as old, but she's actually only like in her 30s. But when she was there, she was schizophrenic, and she had like 13 different personalities.
Oh.
And it was literally the movie Split. Whenever she came into a personality, she developed that strength. Like what she at one of her personalities was an older, very strong man. And when she would go into that personality, she can throw around the orderlies like they were nothing. Like they can bring in two orderlies and she just toss them around like they were nothing. They actually have video of it. That's kind of cool. So I was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's kind of awesome. But yeah, so there's a lot of different. There's a man called the Shadow Man that's down one of the hallways. There's the owner of the place. He was known as the captain. And they've all been identified as actual people there, but the little girl has never been identified as ever being there. They actually have a book out about the place, and it has all the names of the people. There's been a couple of teams that have gone to this location, and they'll read the names out from the book, and they'll have like an necromancer or something like that with them, and it just goes crazy. You'd be surprised how much stuff happens when you start reading out the names of the people that are in the book.
I mean, even like in locations like that, if somebody passed away or something tragic happened 3 miles away, they could still kind of flock to it. So
right, and it's a very small town. It's a very, very small town. It always has been. So, yeah, they still have the old cobblestone on the ground and everything else. So,
I keep getting these images of this woman with brown hair, and she's thin, and she's like falling. Either she jumped out of a building and she's screaming. I don't know which location you were at where she was there, but
that was not this location. I think I know where you're talking about. That was an undisclosed location I was at.
But I'm just seeing her like scream. Either she was hanged or jumped out of a building.
She was hanged. So yeah, that's another location.
See how this works? I can't control it. It just like it pops up, and I'm like,
I know. I do the same stupid thing. I think Nikki is going nuts right now because when I talk about it, it raises up my energy level when it comes to the top of my head. So everyone starts wanting to talk to me, and I'm like, back off! I'm not talking to you right now. So I'm just trying to talk about experiences. You'll talk to me later because I don't like opening up in my own house. I just don't. But when Nikki loves the show on Monday nights, but she hates the show on Monday nights because my energy always kicks up. You can call it a vibration, my vibration, whatever else. But it really kicks up and it really kicks into my head. And she feels me when I turn on. And it drives her nuts because she can feel it in her head and her chest gets really tight. She's like, oh my God, your energy is so high. Like, so I'm waiting for a text message saying, what are you doing right now? So, yeah.
Sorry, but I don't know why that woman's like making it a point to be known. You know what I mean? Like she's like, this is here.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going back to that location soon? Because I think you need to, and you need to go talk to this lady and help her.
Maybe I can go back there. I didn't have plans to this year, but we were looking at possibly going back next spring. We don't want to go now because there's no air, there's no heat, there's no lights, there's a whole lot of nothing. So to go there and stay, and it's far enough to sleep that I have to sleep there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I don't want to sleep, or no, I'm not afraid of shit. It's just I don't want to freeze. So
I know. I hate the cold. I hate it. Yeah. I don't know why I still live somewhere cold.
Right? I'm in Nebraska, for Christ's sakes. What is wrong with me? Oh, wait, Nikki's here.
It's going to be cold from now till like, what, May? I mean, I don't think it.
Well, I can't say it was cold because I actually golfed today and it was like 68 degrees here today. So it was good. This week is supposed to be good. Of course, I'm down in Texas this week, so this week's all supposed to be in the high 60s, low 70s while I'm gone. Jerks. And when I get back, it drops into the low 50s, high 40s. I'm like, oh great, thanks. So
when you were talking about that lady with the split personality,
yeah.
I actually wrote about one in my book, and I had that experience. And this was at the old hospital on College Hill, and it was she was like telling me her name was one thing, and then it would be the same person, and she's like, but she's different,
Yeah.
And she kind of like kept wanting to, one of them kept wanting to come home with me, okay, and the other one was like, no. Well, they got in the car with me, and I'm like, you guys have to leave. Well, then they show up. She shows up a few days later at my house, and I'm not even kidding you. And this is the first time, and I hope it is the last. I saw her run down my hallway right at me, butt naked. And I'm like, and she was just been like out there, she was, and I was like, oh God, we got to do something. I can't have this in my house.
Yeah. So that is crazy. So William is telling me everybody's sick with COVID. William, you need to knock that crap off. Y'all ain't healthy enough to be having COVID. Don't you know that?
Turn on some healing binaural beats and see if that helps.
Yeah. Did you guys go to the hospital and get drugs? Go get your packs? So, I'm just kind of reading on down the messages. So, Kathy's saying she has it as well. First time for her. Newbie. Yeah, I've had it like 3 times now. And I'm still kicking, so it hasn't killed me yet. So, keeps trying.
Well, hopefully everybody starts feeling better really soon.
Right? I know. But don't give it to anybody else. Because some people just can't handle it. I don't know if I want it a 4th time. Something is kicking my butt right now. Someone's wanting to talk, and I'm not letting it. So it's trying to attack me, and I'm like, nope, go away. So I just don't want to. I don't like opening up in my house. I have on my show a couple of times, but I just don't like doing it. You want to talk to me? Wait till I go outside. That's what I keep trying to tell them. So, and it's not because this one has a message for anybody here. It's just because we're talking about stuff right now, so it just wants to talk.
Right.
So it just wants to be.
It wants to hang out with cool people.
Right?
That's what
right? It's like, oh, look, Amber.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
It's always so much fun talking to you.
Oh, so do you have anything else coming up, like, soon that you're going to be doing?
I do. This Saturday all day I will be in Huntington, West Virginia. They're having like some kind of Paracon thing. I'll post it on my Facebook page, but I'll be there all day doing readings, doing mediumship readings, past life, whatever anybody wants. Channeling people and all that good stuff, and signing some copies of my books.
Very cool. Oh.
You all right?
Huh?
You all right?
Someone's trying to beat me up, and I'm just like, no, go away. I'm bigger than it is, so it's okay. It's leaving, so that's good. Rosie's asking if we get messages, do they stay around or do they leave right away?
It just depends on. They're all different, just like people are different in my experience. Some hang around and want to keep chit-chatting or stay forever, and some will go on. It just depends. Yeah,
I get the same way. Some will have a message, and then once the message is over, they're like, so, how you doing? What's going on? What have I missed? Yeah. I'm like, oh, God, really?
They're like, well, you just talked to me really sweet, and that was really cool. Do you care if I just make a, you're just like, what?
Yeah, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. I don't know if spirit does this with you, but like, whenever I'm doing readings or out channeling something, like they will like show me and a lot of times make me feel how they died. That can be kind of rough because especially when it comes to like heart attacks, stroke, aneurysms, that kind of stuff, or like throat or stomach cancer, like that, it's really painful. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they do that because it helps me to resonate with people, what happened.
Right. Oops.
But it's rough sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's if they make me feel how they died, um, I try to block it and I only let them show me how they died instead of feel
Mhm.
it. Um, and that took me a little while to figure out how to do that, but I can do it now, so that's good.
I
So,
finally figured out how to keep them from jumping in me and channeling through me without asking.
someone says hi, Nicole. Look who's here. Hi, Nicole. I have not seen Nicole in here yet, so I haven't seen her. Rosie's saying Nikki's in here. I haven't seen her yet, so she might just be listening. She may not be writing or typing anything. She might still be at her brother's, and she's just kind of checking in to see how everyone is what my assumption is. So
Hey,
that's what I'm
everyone.
thinking she might be doing. So. Yes, Rosie, it feels like it's cramps, and it feels like it's trying to fight my leg, like it's up in my thigh area. I'm just trying to kick my butt. Um, so yeah, I'm having cramps up in my upper, like kind of in my quad right now. So I'm trying to figure out what's beating me up. So weird because it hasn't happened before. So this is different. So she feels my vibes. Is that what it is? Yeah, she probably does. That's probably why she popped in. So Rosie, why are you asking if it's like sharp pains or cramps or something? Are you picking up on something? Oh man, it's kicking my ass. So in my leg, in my right upper. So I can't get anywhere where I can stretch it. So it's kind of hurting. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Um,
Something weird always happens when I'm on your show. So
yeah, I know. Cheryl's like, can you take us outside to see what he wants? No, not from this location. I'm sitting at my desktop. Which is funny you say that because I actually thought about doing my show from my laptop from outside, but I just didn't set everything up in time today to do it. I mean, it would have been a good night because it's nice.
that'd have been a wild one, wouldn't it? Both of us outside.
Yeah, that would have been because I would have been underneath. We bought a new, like one of the overhang umbrellas, and it's all lit up. So
Mhm.
it's all set up so where I can sit out on the deck now and I can actually run my show. And it would have been nice, but I never tested my Wi-Fi out there to see how well it works. And I just
Yeah.
don't know how well my neighbors would react to hearing me talk about this outside. Not that I would care, but they definitely get an eye opening what it's like over at this house.
I'm sure my neighbors have seen me running outside with like saw and sage and been like, "Get out of here!" I'm sure they've seen that. I'm the crazy lady in town. I'm sure.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what their primal. I'm actually doing okay now. I think I got it to go away because the pain has gone away. So I think they're trying to share with me what's going on with them, and they're just pushing it onto me. And so I'm good right now. So yeah, Rosie said, I look like you are in pain, and my calf got a cramping feeling. Yeah, it was actually up on my upper leg where the cramp was happening, but it's subsided now. So I think I pushed it away long enough. It wanted to keep trying to annoy me, but I'm stubborn that way. So Kathy's asking, do you suffer any health ailments from readings that are long term?
Um, I don't, but I've always had migraines, like from like a teen and on, and I do get them a lot, like on a weekly basis. It's
That's
very hard. Nothing controls them.
yeah.
So
So that's interesting because I've had migraines since I was 3. I get anywhere from 5 to 15 a month.
see,
Um,
that's me.
and I get a lot of them. What's up, Grandmaster? How you doing? I get a lot of them because they end up my biggest, I can get them just normally, but my biggest trigger for them are weather changes, but barometric weather changes. Whenever that's changing, I get a headache. It's a good thing I live in Nebraska because the weather changes like 6 times in a day. But
Right.
yeah, but yeah, so I've had migraines my entire life, like you too. And there's I've been through 28 different types of medications. Nothing's worked. The only thing
I had injections in my skull once, and it was horrible. It did not help at all.
Yeah.
I can hear it cracking, like crunching.
Yeah.
It was great.
So they do have a surgery, and it sucks because they can go in and cut that one part that causes our migraines, and it stops you from feeling your migraine. But if you get any side effects like I do, like it gives me nausea, mine actually make me go blind. They're precursors. I can go blind for like 15 minutes before my migraine sets in if it's going to be a really bad one, which is really interesting when I'm driving and I have to pull over. But you can clip the nerve that senses the migraines, but it doesn't get rid of any of the side effects. So if you get sick, if I go blind, anything else, I don't know what it's from. Like at least now I can tell it's from a migraine because I get my migraine. But you can get that taken care of to where it doesn't do anything.
See, that's funny you said that about going, like, not being able to see, because I know I'm going to get one or wake up with one. I will lose my vision to where I'm like this and I can barely read or fight.
Yep.
It is bad.
Yep.
I know something's coming when that happens.
Yeah. So Cheryl said, I've heard if you put your feet in hot water for migraine. So interesting how you say that. I actually have to get in the shower, take an unbelievably hot shower, let it beat the snot out of me, get out, and I have like these cups with these little things of ice, and I have to rub them along because all mine are on my right side. They go to the right side of my temple, into my eye, down to the back of my neck, and into my jaw. And I've taken ice, and I have to like basically rub it. So yeah, I have to do that numerous times, and sometimes it works. It never gets rid of it, but sometimes it helps calm it down. But it's terrible. So I feel your pain. But as far as the long-term ailments from readings, no.
Yeah, I mean, it wears me out, you know.
Yeah.
Some events I go to, they're not as busy of events.
Yeah.
Some of them are packed. You know, I went to an event at the Blennerhassett Hotel, which is super haunted. I went there earlier this year, and I had a line of people the whole day. I had one break to use the restroom, and by the time I got to the last few people, like I had to leave like an hour early. I did readings back to back for like 6 hours, and I was done. Like I wrote a note. My mom was with me, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna pass out. Like it was just too much.
Yeah.
Like I needed food. I needed to stop. And, I hate to turn away people that really want a message from somebody because I know how important that is, but I eventually did have to turn people away, and I hate doing that. But
no, I luckily, see how hollow that is. Luckily I've never had one during an investigation. Otherwise I don't know how that would go. So that's always been good. Mine, I don't know why, but they just haven't shown up during an investigation.
So I've had that happen, and what happens is like I'll feel like I'm gonna get a migraine, and I start feeling sick.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like it ends up being like one of the entities will like try to trigger it on me, and once I like tell them to back off and kind of like push that light out a little bit more, it'll go away, which is really odd.
Yeah,
but they try to use that like because they know it's like a weakness. You know what I mean? They'll try to use that sometimes.
Yeah, true. So Stuart is asking, have you ever had neck problems? For me, yes. I don't know for you, but for me, I broke my C2, C3 in my neck, but that was after my migraine started. But yeah, so I don't know if you've ever had neck problems, but
I've recently had an X-ray done at my chiropractor because I love chiropractor. I go there a lot. It has saved my back. But when he looked at my neck X-ray, he said that like the way it was curved, it was from an injury, and I don't know what it could have been, but he said it could have been whiplash, and I've had that twice in my life, so probably so.
Yeah, mine's twofold. I broke my C2, C3, and instead of my next part of my spine curving inward, mine's straight. so it doesn't have a curve in it at all. So it's pretty odd. No idea what it's from. No clue. They said they know it's not from birth because they said, well, it could be from birth. But like, no, it's not. So Cheryl's saying, yeah, she gets the headaches, the migraines from Hawaii, from the barometric pressure too. Yeah, the humidity is terrible out here too in Nebraska. I just got back from Hawaii not too long ago. But yeah, so I was out there. It was nice and humid when I was out there too. It rained on us a couple of times, which I expected because the rain is like clockwork out there in some locations. We have all these doctors helping us out. Look at this. Marshall's telling us to raise your legs to improve circulation and remember to drink water. I don't know if that's for headaches. I don't know if that's for headaches or for the cramps. So that's for one of my numerous ailments. I'm just old and falling apart. Primal's saying, oh, look at her using the big words. I also had the visual disturbance with migraines as well, only being able to see the lower half of my visual field. So, yes. So she was only able to see the bottom, which is weird because I've heard tunnel vision. Like a lot of people get the tunnel vision, or the spots are in the middle and they're trying to see they're like trying to see around the spots. But I've never heard of it just on the lower half. That's pretty interesting.
Mine is pretty much just like when I get it, it's all blur. It's just really blurry.
Mine goes black. Like mine goes like, you might as well close my eyes and I'm not going to see jack for 15, 20 minutes. But I know that once it happens and it comes back, I'm about to get one big headache. If I just get them, they're smaller. I can work through them. But if I get the visual problems, then I know I'm in trouble. So time to go hunker down.
Yeah.
So, trying to catch up with everything that everyone's putting out there. Yes, Primal, you're a freak like the rest of us. Where am I at? Oh, Rosie is saying, I believe empathetic people are more likely to get migraines or headaches. That could be because if they're picking up on other people's energy, that may bring it in. Luckily, I am not an empath. I don't care what they say. They say everybody's an empath. I am not. I don't care about anybody else. So
I said something similar to that last week. I'm telling you, it's like you're the male version of me. I'm telling you.
I tell people all the time, you know what? I do this show and I love doing my show, but I really hate people. It's just the way I'm built. I'm sorry, folks, but it's just the way I am. I don't know why. I don't, obviously I don't have a filter. And I just don't have that. I just don't. I honestly, truly believe there is so much truth to the fact that I am not from this earth at all, because I do not have the emotional connections to people that so many other people have. I've explained this to others. I'm not shocked by anything. I'm not surprised by anything. I'm not saddened by anything. I mean, my mom passed away and Nikki cried more than I did. I mean, my mom died and she goes, I go, hey, my mom died. She went, what? I go, my mom died. And she cried. And I was like, you all right? And she goes, are you? And I'm like, yeah, fine. And she was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, it's just a part of life. You know, that's how my mind works. I don't have that empathetic sadness side to me. So I just never have. And I've been that way my entire life. I don't have that shock and awe type side when you meet someone famous or you meet a president or anything else. Yeah, other people, you know, so what? I don't have that. I just don't. But I'm the same way with what other people's fears are. I don't have a fear of heights. I don't have a fear of bugs or spiders or animals or anything else. I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of anything that we found. So I just am missing all of those emotions that normal people have. So I think that really ties into me being a starseed from somewhere else. So, because I just don't have the human emotion side. So, yeah. Marshall says, I have some peppermint extract in my water. It will help most things, but will keep you awake. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Is it designed to help keep you awake? I don't know that one. I've never heard of that. And then Stewart said he had horrible migraines until his neck was stabilized.
Hmm.
And Stewart, Dr. Stewart, I'm going to start calling him Dr. Stewart, because he says primal, that is pressure on your posterior eye at the nerve ending. So, and yes, Stewart, that is very much my thought process. I don't think it's subconsciously. I think it's consciously. I realized that they didn't die. They just went to another plane and I'll see them later. I think that's exactly what it is because I just don't see death the way others do. You know, people, most people on here now know what I did for a living in my past. And I saw tons and tons, unfortunately, lots and lots of death. And I was the one to go identify bodies and everything else. But it just never faced me like that. And I think that's why I work so well in this field, because I'm not afraid of it. You know, as I tell people, I'm too dumb to know any better. You know, I just
you've seen it, so you've kind of like
seen
the side of it in a way.
You know, been shot a couple times, people know that. Been stabbed numerous times, people know that. Taken lives. And it's just, I'm just numb to it. But it's not just my job where I became numb to it. I've been numb to it my whole life. My dad passed away when I was 3. Okay. You know, so that's just how I've been my entire life. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I do know that it affects, you know, so I do know that for me, it affects a lot of relationships, like friendships and stuff like that, because I'm one of those that if a friend leaves, I'm like, all right. You know, I don't have that. I'm missing you. I'm like, all right, well, I'll find someone else. So,
see, I used to prep bodies in hospice before the.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't think right now. Before the funeral home would come and get them.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen quite a few.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So, have you noticed if any of those stayed with you or have become a spirit guide or have done anything with you at all, or have you just have any of them came back to thank you?
No. When I worked there, it was long before I kind of delved into my abilities. Okay. You know, like pretty much my whole life I've been having these experiences and, you know, going places and ghost hunting and all this stuff to see what I can hear, whatever. And I've always been like, I'm okay with like prepping the bodies. I was fine with it. Some of the nurses wouldn't do it. So here I go in there doing this.
Yeah.
But it never really bothered me. And sometimes I would see them moving and that would freak out the nurses because I don't think they saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was years later before I really kind of had that frightening experience that kind of made me figure things out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stuart made a very good observation. I've made the same observation, but he says, my dad passed when I was 3 and I've had migraines since I was 3. So is there a correlation between my dad passing away and me having migraines since I was 3? So interesting. I had that same thought. Not sure. And then Rosie says, the more I am on my journey, I feel the same way when someone dies. I may cry once and that's it because I know they're in a better place. Lucky bastards. So, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to some degree, it's like we know they're going to a better place. And everybody's different. You know, we're emotional. We're humans. We're going to grieve differently. And
right.
And that's fine, too. I mean, you have to do what you have to do for mental health.
Yeah.
Grieve, do what you need to do. But there's definitely, this is not it. This is 100% not it. I don't care what anybody says. This is not it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, that's the same thing with me. And I think that's why it's so. I have been told numerous times that I have lived an untold amount of lives. In fact, for the people who do know me on here, they know that I had an earth elemental tell me that I was older than its essence was. and then it told me it was 15,000 years old. So I think in all of my lives, I've just experienced it so much that I'm just like, I know there's something next. So,
I mean, you'd think by now you'd be done, right? Like,
right? I know.
go
Oh
ahead.
my goodness, right?
But you doing what you're doing now, and all of us like collectively starting to explore this, that's
Yeah.
one step closer to being done because we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's a
I
step.
agree. I truly think that I'm here to be a protector and a light worker. I believe those are the two paths that I'm on. And to tie both of those together, I really think I'm supposed to be. Now, here's the question I have, and I don't know. I do believe that at some point I am supposed to work in as a shaman. I'm supposed to believe I'm supposed to work in shamanism.
I would agree with that.
My biggest issue I'm having with is, am I supposed to just work in shamanism, or am I supposed to pick a specific, because of my Native American and my Norse, both of them have shamans. So am I supposed to work in one greater than the other, or am I supposed to just work as both? Do I have to go through both to get?
So I think what you should do is find what you resonate with, what draws you in.
Both
You
of
know
them
what I
do.
mean?
That's the problem. I mean, I have one arm that is basically Native American and one arm that is basically Norse, and I tie very much into both of them.
Talk
Both
to
of
your guys about it
them,
and see if they give you an answer.
they don't want to help. I literally ask them, and they just sit back and laugh and laugh and laugh. So
Like, you figure this one
I
out.
think that's part of my journey. They're like, "Yeah, I'm not helping you." So I think that's something they want me to figure out on my own. And Rosie says, "Yeah, me too. I agree. You should find your happy medium." I should. I really should. I just got to find out what it is.
Maybe you should start exploring like one aspect of it and get into it a little bit, read about it, do what you need to do with it. And then if it keeps resonating, go for it. If it doesn't, start with the
Yeah.
other one and see where it goes from there. Just, take your time with it and see what happens. But I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I when my abilities first showed themselves to me, at that point, that was what I was hearing, was that I was supposed to work in the as a shaman in the shamanism area, and that was from the very get go. Even before I had the abilities I do now, before they all started developing to where they are now, that's the very first thing I was hearing. So I was like, okay, and it's never wavered. They just stay with me, and that same feeling always stays with me, and it's never wavered. I'm supposed to be a shaman. I'm supposed to be a shaman. I just haven't understood what that means yet.
I'm gonna cry. I agree.
I see that. Yeah. They laugh because you already are the shaman. Go inside. I know. Yeah, I guess for me, I have, and the reason I think I hesitate is because I have heard way too many different ways that you can become a shaman. Like, some say, oh, you have to take 13 months of class. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to follow this. You have to follow that. You have to do these teachings. You got to practice them. Well, some are like, well, no, you just have to do this, or you just have to, do this. But everybody gives me a different answer, because no one is right, or everybody is right. There's no happy medium there for me to say, like Primal says, well, I am a shaman, but then what do I need to practice? That's kind of where I am. Well, then what do I need to practice?
Okay, it's kind of like when people do Reiki. Some people go to classes and learn how to do it and get licensed, and some people just do it their whole lives and it's Reiki, but they're not licensed. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
I think it's kind of like that.
Rosie, I am a mutt. She asked me what kind of Native American tribe I am. I am a mutt. I am a Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Cheyenne breed of Native American. My father was very, very, very much Native American, while my mom was just a little bit. My unfortunate problem I run into is I have no paperwork. I can only go off of what they told me. And with
Hmm.
both of them being dead and me not having any contact with anybody on my dad's side at all, because he did pass away at such an early age, I can only go off of what they tell me, not off of what I can prove on paper. But I feel very much. I mean, it's what they told me. I've been raised to believe that. Um, all that, and I go off of what my parents say wholeheartedly. But my mom was also very much Norse, very much. So that's where I get that side from. And you can see that in my family lineage as we go down. Um, that's a big
And
word.
right, because a lot of the elementals too are connected with Native Americans, and you're able to connect
And
with them.
well, they're
And,
also tied to the Norse.
yeah.
Elementals are also tied to the Norse because they went from the land.
Hmm.
So both sides are very strong and I think that's why I see, hear, and talk to elementals like I do people, because it's just part of who I am. So phenylephrine, Marshall, what is phenylephrine? I don't feel like typing into the computer to find out what it is. So, but that's the word he used. So, Rosie, why did you ask what kind of tribe I was? Just curious. So, God, we've been blobbing a long time.
I know, it's fun though.
Yeah, so she says, I would read on those tribe shamans and see if something resonates with you or just ask your guides. Funny you should say that. Um, the Cheyenne really resonates with me strongly. I think it's because of the dog warriors, but they resonate with me very strongly. And I think that, I don't know if that's tied to my shaman side or if that's tied to my protector side, my warrior side. So I don't know which one it is, or both. But that's the one I pretty much pull from. And I considered that, but with me having no paperwork, I don't know how much they'd be willing to help me, Rosie. For those people who are listening, Rosie posted to see if you could seek help from an elder from that tribe. Yeah, I considered that, but I don't know how much they'll discuss with me if I cannot identify that I am from that tribe. So,
But even when people do like ancestry tests, like
yeah,
the whatever they're called,
yep,
they didn't have those tests back then.
right,
So a lot of the times you're not going to get a true answer either
right,
way.
yeah,
It's just word of mouth,
yeah,
or what what you've been
yeah,
told.
yeah. Um, yeah, and I only met so Primal says cosmic shaman. I'll have to look that one up. But like, I only met my grandfather from my dad's side once, but oh my goodness, definite, definite, definite Native American. um, so yes, Stuart, the answer is always no if you don't ask. Unless I don't ask and I want it to be yes, like and I just eat the last cookie, but I don't ask, then that was a yes. So then I don't get in trouble. Um, so she said, carry over soul. I don't know what that is, Primal. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Now you got me curious, so I'm gonna have to look that one up.
So I'm gonna have to tell you, like, after we're done here, like, we'll have to still talk because I have to tell you what I'm seeing in one of your paths. It's so crazy. I've never seen this before.
Uh, well, sorry, people, you can't stay tuned because she's gonna tell me behind the scenes. I
I mean,
made sure.
it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever. But
Yeah, I know.
it's definitely in you. Okay, it's who you are.
Yeah.
It's who,
Well, so I will tell you something before we talk behind the scenes. Some people know this, some people don't, but I will tell the story again. I think there's a handful of people on here that heard it, but My first and only mentor, she is a shaman, and she's up in Canada. And I believe she's Algonquin. But she told me that she had a vision with me in it, and she was doing a sweat, and she had a vision, and it was of a shaman with a bunch of chiefs sitting in a circle. And the shaman went and asked each chief, "What is your best warrior's attribute? What's the best thing about your warrior in your tribe? Your best warrior?" And the chief would say it, and the shaman would take it and basically pull it out of the air and put it into a bowl, and it would turn into a liquid. And he went and asked all 13 chiefs that were sitting in the circle the same question, and took every single thing and he put it in a bowl. And she said, "In the vision I saw is that they took that bowl over to your head, and he dumped it over your head, and it went into your body. So you basically received all the best attributes of all 13 of the chief's greatest warriors." I was like, well, that's pretty darn interesting to live up to. But but she said that was the first vision she's ever seen with me, that she that she had. She goes, "I've never had another vision about you at all ever, but that was the only vision I had, and it was that one." I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's what she's seeing too. So
I mean, your dad's always like, call him chief. So that's what I do.
I know, right? He does. He tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rosie says, "I think what you should do is go to a sweat and ask a medicine man. Doesn't matter what tribe, someone will be able to help you." Rosie, I appreciate that. I know we have a few here in Nebraska, so I'll have to go find one, and see what they tell me and if they'll be able to help me. I appreciate it.
I think it'd be a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody.
Yeah. So, well, I think I'm going to shut us down for the night. We've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes, just blah blahing about everything. So I'm sure your daughter's getting restless sitting in the car.
She's got YouTube. She's fine.
Don't forget to take gifts and tobacco. I will not. Yes, I will definitely take gifts and tobacco. Yep. If one thing my mentor did teach me was that, gifts and tobacco. Yes. So thank you. But yeah, so everyone, we're going to shut it down for the night. Hopefully we didn't get too scatterbrained on here, but it's me and Amber, so we definitely got scatterbrained on here.
Right.
There's no way to keep us on a straight line if you had to. You could lay out a straight line and tell us to walk it. It's not going to happen. We're like two drunks during a conversation. It just goes everywhere. So, but Amber, thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
Again, everybody go out to Amber's Paraworld. You can look it up on YouTube, Insta, and TikTok.
Yeah.
You can go out and find
I do have a Facebook page. I don't use it that much, but sometimes I post stuff.
Yeah. Very, very, very rarely. So yeah. So you'd be better off finding her on YouTube. It's where she pretty much lives out there.
It's available on my YouTube channel in the About section. If anybody needs advice, wants to email me and ask questions about ghosts, hauntings, you need readings, whatever, just holler at me.
Yeah, perfect. So, all right. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to Amber really quick, and I'm going to tell you who's coming on next because I don't remember, so I have to look it up. So, Amber, I'm going to throw you backstage, and I'll talk to you in a couple of minutes. So, all right, everyone, that's the show for tonight. Yep, like I said, I got to look it up because I'm too dumb to remember, even though I do it every single time. Next week. Who do I have on next week, people? How come you don't know this? Oops, that's not it. Stand by. I'm slow. Oh, I have on Robin Eaton. So Robin Eaton is someone who I found here locally, and her energy was just amazing. It was good night. It was crazy. So it was. I'm really excited to have her on. I think she's going to bring a whole different type of energy than we've had on for a while. She seems very soft-spoken, but that's when I met her at Holistic Fest, and I think that was just a cover. So this one might get kind of wild, so I'm really looking forward to it. But again, next Monday, of course, I'll put out the post. with all the advertisements that you all don't read. But next Monday, the 20th, 7 p.m., I will have on Robinette. Other than that, I am traveling this week, so have a safe week, everybody. Thank you again for coming on. If this is your first time, I hope you want to return and hang out with us. Please remember to like, follow, share. Greatly appreciate it because I keep wanting to grow this community, so it helps those out who need the help, or just give something or some people places to come listen and talk and feel the energy from my audience, which I call my family because you're fantastic. But stay safe. If you're sick, get healthy. That's the best thing for you, is just to relax. Take what they tell you to take. Do all that wonderful stuff so y'all can come back all smiley and happy and we get to talk to you. Other than that, have a great week. Love you all.